Welcome to the world of biology through Jaguar classes from Jagran Public School, Noida. In today's this video lecture of chapter 5 part 1, I will share with you some facts related with the morphology of flowering plants, and in this lecture in this part 1 I will share with you the morphology of flowers in that case, because now in your syllabus only that part is there. That's why in this part we are directly taking the facts related with the morphology of flower in a flowering plant. After today's class, the learning outcomes that we are expecting in knowledge based learning outcomes, you will be able to know and understand the morphology of inflorescence, specifically morphology of flower, and in which we will talk about the different parts of flower. And the skill based learning outcomes that we are expecting, you would be able to understand how to describe the different types of flowers and how to describe or write the floral formula. You will also able to understand how to draw the floral diagram or floral formula also of the various flowers, and the competencies developed in you after today's class will be collaborative learning and critical thinking, as well as problem solving, to make character building, as well as to improve your communications as a citizen, and as well as you will also develop a citizenship characteristic or competencies. Let's start with our today's class. And in this class we will learn about the morphology of flower. And in today's class, we will cover the topics: inflorescence, racemose and cymose type, structure of a flower, and different parts of flower, insertion of floral leaves, placentation, estivation, symmetry of flowers, and floral diagram and floral formula. Let's start with the first slide. In this presentation, you can see that about the inflorescence. Inflorescence is actually the arrangement of flowers on the flower twig, or we can say that on the common floral axis. And here you can see that rachis or peduncle is one of the part which is the main or inflorescence axis from which the flower arises, that you can see in this flower. This is the rachis or peduncle. And sape, rachis or peduncle, which arise directly from the underground rhizomes, like in this case, and they may give rise to a solitary flower, like in case of lotus. You can see that such type of inflorescence, and an inflorescence in case of onion flower also you can consider like that way. There are basically two types of inflorescence. One is racemose and another is known as cymose. In racemose, the unlimited growth of the floral axis is going on. But on the other side, in cymose type of inflorescence, limited growth of the floral axis is there. Second point of difference we can consider as flowers in acropetal session, means younger flowers are at the tip region and older at the base regions are present in this type of inflorescence. While in case of cymose, we can see that a basipetal order where older flowers at the tip region and younger flower at the base are present. The third point of difference between these two type of inflorescence, in case of racemose, there is centripetal order of opening, means periphery to center. While in case of cymose type of inflorescence, centrifugal order of opening of flower, like center to periphery. Now come to know about the another fact about the morphology of flower. Flower, we can see the significance of flower. What is the significance of a typical flower in angiosperms? There are basically 3 points of the significance we can learn here. One of them is they are highly modified vegetative shoot and considered as reproductive unit of angiosperms, and basically they are meant for the sexual reproduction in plants. On the basis of position, you can see here two types of flowers. We can see that axillary position and terminal position. And in axillary position, the flowers are present on the floral axis on the axil of the leaf, while in case of terminal position of the flower are at the apices of the stem and its branches. Like in this case you can see that terminal position, and in this case you can see that axillary position. And in that way this arrow indicates that how the flower position is in this arrow direction, and here the flower is present coming from in between these apices of the stem or branches. Now on the basis of pedicel also flower can be divided, or flower can be classified into two types, pedicellate and sessile. The short stalk of the flower is known as pedicel. In which flower these pedicel is present, they are known as pedicellate, while if in the absence of that pedicellate, they are known as sessile type of flower. Now come to know the other parts of the flower. Here you can see that in this presentation you can learn about the bracts and bracteoles. These are also certain leaf-like structures present on the axis of the flower, from where the flower is originated at the pedicel. Bracts are basically special leaves at whose axil flowers develops, and bracteate are the flowers or the term used for the flowers with bracts, and ebracteate term is used for the flowers without bract. When bracts are present, they protect flower bud in the young stage. On the other side, the one another part of the flower is known as bracteoles, small thin bract-like structures present on the pedicel between the flower and the bract that you can see here. These are bracteoles and this is bract. If bracteoles are present in a flower, they may be one or two in number, or bracteolate flowers are those flowers which are having the bracteoles, and ebracteolate flowers are those flowers which are without bracteoles. Now in this figure you can see that this swollen portion of the flower, which is known as thalamus, and the short floral axis with compressed nodes and internodes on which various flower leaves are inserted is known as thalamus portion of the flower. That is clearly you can see in this flower. Now there are three types of flowers on the basis of position of thalamus, and with respect to thalamus the other floral parts are positioned in what manner, that can be classified into three types of flowers. One condition is known as hypogynous flower, the another is known as perigynous flower that you can see here in this figure, and third condition of such position of the flower or thalamus or floral parts is epigynous flower. Now let's start to learn about or differentiate in these three types of floral positions or floral parts position inserted with the thalamus. In this category of flower, which are known as hypogynous flower, gynoecium that you can see here at the highest position, and other parts like that androecium, corolla and calyx are situated below it. Hence, the ovary is considered as superior in this case, and examples are mustard, china rose, and brinjal are coming in this. In perigynous type of flowers that you can see in this figure, gynoecium at center and other parts on the rim of the thalamus almost at the same level that you can see here, the level of different floral parts and thalamus. Uh, Hence, we can say that here the ovary is half inferior. Examples are plum, rose, and peach. And the epigynous flower are the flowers where margin of thalamus grows. In that you can see that how the margin of flower grows upward, and it encloses the ovary completely and gets fused with it, that you can see here in this. The whole ovary get fused inside the thalamus, due to which during fruit formation thalamus is also participating. Other parts in such condition of the flower arise above the ovary, and hence ovary is considered as inferior ovary. Examples of such type of flowers are guava, cucumber, and ray florets of the sunflower. Now come to this presentation. In this slide you can see that different parts of flower in the form of different whorls. When we are talking about non-essential parts, calyx or group of sepals, corolla or group of petals are the non-essential parts which are directly not involved in the fruit formation or seed formation. But the essential parts which are required for fruit formation as well as seed formation are androecium or stamen, which is the male reproductive unit of the flower, and gynoecium with pistil and carpel is known as the female reproductive unit of the flower. Here you can see in this diagram, this portion is pistil or carpel, or we can say that collectively it is gynoecium part of the flower, and while these anthers and stamens are coming in the androecium part of the flower. Now, here you can see and learn about the different essential floral parts of the flower. Androecium and gynoecium, as we have already discussed, this structure is showing only androecium part with different number of stamens and anthers, and gynoecium is that female part of the flower. Besides androecium and gynoecium, uh, there are other parts, and these are the important parts. Why we are considering them important? Because at the time of sexual reproduction these parts are involved for the fertilization process, and after fertilization ovule inside the ovary get developed into seeds, and the overall ovaries give rise to the fruit. Now here we are learning about the placentation. What is the placentation? In the flower morphology, placentation is basically the arrangement of placenta within the ovary is called placentation. That you can see different types of placentation. You can see here in this diagram: marginal, parietal, axile, and free central, and apical and basal. These are the different types of placentation. In case of marginal type of placentation, you can see here in this diagram, when ovules are present at fused margins of the unilocular ovary. Example is pea, and pea, in pea plant you can see this type of presentation. Axile placentation, that is seen here, that is shown here, when ovules are produced on the central axis of the multilocular ovary. Example, china rose. And in case of parietal, when ovules are present on the inner wall of the unilocular ovary of multicarpellary. And syncarpous gynoecium, example is papaya and cucumber. And basal type of placentation that you can see here, when a single ovule is present at the base of the unilocular inferior ovary. Example is sunflower. Next part of the flower morphology or inflorescence is the estivation. Estivation is the arrangement of petals in a flower bud with respect to each other is called estivation, and here you can see that different types of estivation. uh, One of them is velvet, another is twisted, then imbricate, quinquinical and vexillary. Now let's start how they are different from each other. In velvet type of presentation that you can see here in a figure, in the position or the arrangement of the petals is going on in what manner. Petals are close to each other, like in this case these petals are close to each other without any overlapping. Example is acacia. While on the other side, in this type of estivation, which is known as twisted estivation, one margin of the petal overlaps the other with adjacent petal, and the other margin is overlapped by its adjacent petals. China rose is the example of that type of presentation, so estivation. And imbricate, that you can see here in imbricate C type, uh, in which the estivation possesses irregular type of overlapping. Some are one-sided overlap, but some petals are totally overlapped from both the sides. Quinquinical, you can see here quinquinical. Out of 5 petals, 2 are external, 1 and 2 that you can see here, and 2 are internal, and the fifth petal, it has one external margin and one internal margin. These two are external, two are internal, and one is from internal from one side and external from other side. And this E type of estivation is vexillary type of estivation, which is seen in pea plant or Leguminaceae family. Now, on the basis of symmetry of flower, flower can be divided, or flower can be classified into 3 types: actinomorphic, like where we can say that in this flower, that is hibiscus flower, when we are observing the symmetry, floral whorls are of the same size and shape and arranged in such a way that flower can be divided into two equal halves along any plane passing through the center or axis. Example is China rose that you are already observing here. And the another type of flower on the basis of symmetry are termed as zygomorphic, like in this case monosymmetrical or zygomorphic flower. These are also known as monosymmetrical. The flower can be divided by only a single plane into two mirror image halves. Example is orchid flower. And asymmetrical or irregular type of flower that you can see in this figure, this flower is asymmetrical or irregular. Why this is asymmetrical? Because the flower cannot be divided into two equal halves along any plane. Example is canna flower is of this category. Now in this chart, try to understand and learn the floral formula or symbols which are required to draw the floral formula and their meanings. Here are the symbols. BR means bract, presence of bract. For presence of bract, we are using this symbol. BRL means bracteole, and K is representing calyx, C is representing corolla, and P representing perianth, where corolla and calyx get fused with each other. This symbol represent the male part of the flower, this symbol represent the female part of the flower, and in this condition that symbol is used in the condition of bisexual flower. A is used for androecium. G with this bar is used as gynoecium but superior ovary, and here ovary is superior in this case, and in this case when we are putting bar over the G, that it is inferior ovary, and this symbol is used for actinomorphic flower or actinomorphic type of symmetry, and this percentage sign is used for the zygomorphic type of symmetry. And this is showing fusion of wool, and addition of the two wools can be shown or can be represented by this symbol. The position of the mother axis with respect to the flower is represented by a dot on the top of the floral diagram. To understand it, now come to know about this floral diagram. Here you can see that one example of a floral diagram. Actually, a floral diagram provides us the information about the number of parts of a flower in a quick manner at a glance, and their arrangement and the relation they have with one another in a particular family. Calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium are drawn in successive whorls. Like in this case, you can see that calyx is drawn with that green color uh, sepals, and corolla is drawn with the help of that red color petals. This part is pistil, and these yellow color are the stamen arrangement is shown, and this is the main axis or floral axis is shown here. Along the floral axis we are drawing this floral diagram, and in that way we are representing the floral diagram to show each and every part of the flower in a very brief manner with the help of this floral diagram. And this is one of the part of your practical syllabus where you will draw this floral diagram whatever flower will be given to you. Now have a quick recapitulation of today's topic that we have covered in today's class. Here are the main points that we have covered in this topic or in today's class. In some plants, flowers are produced in groups called inflorescence, which has a fixed pattern of flower on an axis called peduncle, and types of inflorescence found in plants or in angiosperm, racemose and cymose type. The flower is a highly modified vegetative shoot concerned with the function of sexual reproduction. Structurally, a flower bears pedicel, thalamus, and whorls. The four whorls are calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium, which are present in a typical flower. Insertion of floral leaves is of three types, due on the basis of which flowers are hypogynous type, perigynous condition, and epigyny condition. These are the three conditions related with the insertion of floral leaves into the thalamus part of the flower. Placentation is the arrangement of placentae within the ovary. Types of placentation that we have studied: marginal, axile, parietal, and basal, and free central. Estivation is the arrangement of petals in a flower bud, with respect to each other, and in this we have studied the different types of estivation: volvate, twisted, imbricate, and quinquinical. And on the basis of the symmetry, flowers can be classified as actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and asymmetrical flowers. And in this way, we have covered up our today's class. Thank you and have a nice day.